You know, I've been watching a lot of videos about Warren Buffett, and I found out that once he made a huge mistake. In fact, he lost more than $3.5 billion on a single deal. And the crazy thing is, he doesn't try to hide it. He actually talks about it openly. In 1993, Warren Buffett bought a shoe company called Dexter Shoe for $433 million. But here's the thing. Instead of paying cash for the company, he paid for it with shares of Berkshire Hathaway, the company he controls. At the time, it was around 25,000 shares. Basically, he was using his own stock to buy this shoe company. Now, this deal seemed smart at first. Dexter was a popular brand. They were making money, and they seemed like a good fit for Berkshire. But just a few years later, the shoe business started to crumble. Competition from overseas companies crushed their profit margins, and eventually Buffett had to close the business. He took a massive loss, and it went to zero. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is that the Berkshire Hathaway shares that he used to buy the company are now worth over $3.5 billion. Can you imagine? He literally gave away $3.5 billion worth of stock to buy a company that ended up being worthless. That's what he calls an expensive lesson. And I think we can all learn from it. First, no matter how great a business is doing, if you pay too much for it, it can become worthless. Just because a business is making money today doesn't mean it will make money tomorrow. If you overpay for a business, even a little bit, it can take years or even decades to make that money back. Remember, a business is only worth the discounted value of its future cash flows. If the future cash flows aren't there, then the business is worthless. Second, never use your most valuable assets to buy other assets. At the time, Berkshire Hathaway was a very valuable asset. It was a strong, well-known company with a lot of potential. Instead of using it to buy a random shoe company, Buffett should have kept it as a valuable asset for future acquisitions. Third, be careful of industries that are vulnerable to global competition. The shoe industry is a classic example of this. When competition from overseas companies increased, it became very difficult for Dexter to maintain their profit margins. They couldn't compete with the lower prices from overseas, and eventually, the business collapsed. The key takeaway here is that even legends like Warren Buffett make mistakes. But what separates him from the rest is that he's willing to admit his mistakes, learn from them, and never repeat them. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, but be smart about them. Learn from them and move on. Warren Buffett is a legend because he's not perfect. He's just human. Now, if you want to learn more about investing, I suggest you watch this video next.